Well, as we've said many times, though, back when this was made, and especially the previous movie, Chris O'Donnell playing Robin was considered like Mr. Sexy. He was the 90s heartthrob. Everyone in the 90s was sexy if they looked like this.
No, he's attractive, but plain as well.
Yeah.
Well, here's one actually though. This was a big thing in our first season, Disasterina. I was always under the impression when I was growing up that Jack Nicholson was widely regarded as being like a really sexy guy. Found out, apparently, no. People were like disgusted by him. I was like, this was stunning to me. But like, have you ever been like, what do you think of Saucy Jack? Do you think like he's?
We recently saw. I think my lady wife is grew up in the '80s and was really into '80s movies, and we went on a little sort of like rabbit hole of watching really nostalgic '80s movies. I can't remember which one it was, but Jack Nicholson was like Satan, and then there was like Cher, who was like a witch.
Oh,
what was that one called?
Witches of Eastwick.
And yeah, we sort of had the same exact thing you're talking about. It's like back in the day, I lived through this, this Jack Nicholson heyday, right? I never saw any of those movies because I wasn't really into that sort of stuff. But Jack Nicholson was known as being like sexy saucy, right? Sexy saucy.
Yeah.
And then, you watch that movie and it's sort of like a joke that Jack Nicholson is supposed to be sexy saucy. But at the same time, he really is trying to be sexy saucy, and it does not work. This person is incredibly disgusting. There's nothing good about him. He's not sexy. He's not saucy. He's not smart. He's not tall. And he's not attractive in any way. He's just like a grunt. He's just like this awful, arrogant man who comes into the strip club.
Oh, I can see that, but somehow he attracts people.
I think that's really good promotional agent.
It must be something like that, right? Because I don't know. He seems to have a track record of like hooking up with very beautiful young people, and I don't think it's the money.
Yeah, him and Lara Flynn Boyle for a while there in the late 90s.
But that was when she was a thing.
I think it's always just people want to get somewhere in Hollywood. So it's like, what do I do to get somewhere in Hollywood? Oh, you got to hook up with this ugly guy. Okay, I'll do it. Whatever it takes. Even Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. The thing is, though, like he comes across like he's nice. At least he comes across like a nice person in his personal life, which is
he may be. But I think
it's not all negative.
The reason why he got so popular because all these studio execs, all these big producer guys, are ugly, horny pieces of shit. And they're it's Jack Nicholson is the perfect icon of an ugly, arrogant, petulant, stupid head who makes it big. Like all these women want him, right?
Yeah,
it's like that's what they want to be him. They're ugly. They know they're fucking ugly, right? There's nothing they can do about it. But they want that power to attract all these sexy ladies. And that's why they sort of like have vaulted this marginal actor, really ugly man as sort of like this ultra sexy person because they want to be that.
Yeah. No, I totally get that because that has persisted in comedy, especially because two people who have been, let's say cancelled, I hate that term, but for good reason, Woody Allen and Louis C.K., both of them, in all of their work, write themselves hooking up with stunningly beautiful women.
Yeah, I think that is just the power of the mediocre male writer.
Yeah.
Just like,
it's like a dominance thing. It's like, I look what I can do. Look at my power. I can hook up with beautiful women in Hollywood, and I own them, even though I'm an ugly.
Yeah.
Well, even look at the throughout all of Seinfeld, George Costanza is supposed to be a real loser. Every woman he hooks up with, and there's multiple ones each season, all of them are stunning.
It's the same in Curb Your Enthusiasm, though. Like Larry, I think that's part of the joke, though. In that is Larry David always hooks up with these unbelievable ladies.
The thing, like, back in the 90s, though, was just like, oh, yeah, so whoever you cast to be the male leads, and then, like, of course, all the girlfriends have to be gorgeous, so it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if they're out of their league, all these guys can easily hook up with, supermodels.
It is
basically.
a sexism thing. It really is, which is a shame. Like,
so I get Jerry Seinfeld going out with Terry Hatcher. It's like, I mean...
Yeah,
maybe.
He's not ugly, but he's not sexy either, is he?
No, nothing sexy about Jerry Seinfeld, that's sure. For sure.
Oh, God. Oh.